Welcome to Business Live. I'm Mark Croskery. In BL tonight, first up, we got securities dealer. That's Mayberry Investments, a well-known investment bank right here in Jamaica. An executive appointment here. Mr. Dan Thiok, who's been with Mayberry Investments for some time now, has been appointed as the SVP, that's Senior Vice President, folks, of Investment Banking, effective October 1st, 2020. Kudos here for Mr. Dan Thiok and Mayberry Investments. Next up, we got GraceKennedy, Jamaica's big conglomerate, big company doing lots of things, mergers and acquisitions recently, especially over the past 12 to 24 months. You're really seeing the stock price and the brand, really benefit, from the deals that they've been doing and the things that they've been shaking up and moving in the Jamaica marketplace. Now going to consider a dividend. The board of directors is going to meet on November 5th, just around the corner, 2020, to consider a dividend. They go on to say that this will be an interim dividend, and if so, it's going to be paid just in time for Christmas or December 2020. Jamaica's big poultry company, biggest poultry company here, chicken producer and a few other things, Jamaica Broilers, ticker symbol JBG, trading in shares here, a purchase and a sale. So we're seeing a double whammy here, or a combo. Large trades here actually. In the financial market, sometimes they call this actually a cross sell. It could have been an arranged transaction or something like that, because we're seeing a buy and a sell, and it's a large trade. So this happened on October 21st, 2020. Just the other day, connected party here buying a large trade. We say again, 8.2 million shares or just above that. And a director and connected party selling just under that, or a shade under that, 8.1 million shares or so. So both transactions very similar in size, just off by 20,000 shares to 60,000 shares or around there. So interesting transactions there and trades, but good to see market taking up the liquidity, taking up the transactions. Now folks, we're in annual report season. Check out jamstockx.com, the JSE. We're seeing tons of annual reports now flying out, coming out. So we're seeing carbon producers here. CPJ, had a tough time, but now they have the annual report. Looks very good, done nicely. Sygnus Credit Investments coming out with their AGM announcement. The annual general meeting coming up. They're going to have a satellite set up at Terranova Hotel. Great move there, for persons who can't, travel or get to their AGM if it's in the Caribbean. So nicely done. We really think all companies that have, listed companies or their AGMs outside of Jamaica should set up a satellite office like this. And Elite Diagnostics annual report is now out. If you're an investor or a potential investor, read these annual reports. Go to the AGMs. It's the best way to learn about the company, the management discussion analysis, the MD&A, all those acronyms. Last up, huge news here. Overseas markets, US markets, Callaway Golf, the classic, the traditional, golf company, maker of golf clubs, everything golf here, doing a deal here, buying, the more modern, the new, the hip Topgolf. A lot of bachelor parties there, lots of, entertainment, lots of parties, functions. So the seller of golf clubs here, Callaway, making an all-stock merger deal. That means, not necessarily cash, but it can be some debts, but all-stock deal here. It's going to give them 51.5% of the merged entity, or the marriage of these two companies. So Topgolf, 2019, we have some numbers, roughly, 1.1 billion of revenues, about, 23 million in customers, big numbers, and 63 locations. But they're very hip, very known on Instagram, social media. But the key factor is that Callaway will end up with majority, 51.5%. Some Callaway shareholders, which are older, typically older persons, very popular with golf, the verdict is still out. They're not necessarily happy with the deal. They're a bit cautious. They're not so sure if this deal is going to create, big shareholder value long term. So the verdict is out. We'll see how it goes. But clearly, the persons who orchestrated the deal, put it together, are hoping that this blends, does well between, the young and the old, and the deal makes money long term. So let's see what happens. I'm Mark Croskery. This is Business Live.